This is actually a puzzle that some of you may have written your paper on, because it's the puzzle about Lucretius, the puzzle that Lucretius gives us. It's not a direct quote, but Lucretius basically says, look, most of us are upset and anxious at the fact that we're going to die. We think death is bad for us. There'll be this period after my death in which I won't exist. And the deprivation account helps say why that's bad, because during this period of non-existence, you're not enjoying the good things in life. Fair enough, says Lucretius, but wait a minute. The period after you die isn't the only period during which you don't exist. It's not the only period in which, if only you were still alive, you could still be enjoying the good things in life. There's another period of non-existence. It's the period before my birth. I think I've just switched the timeline here, but all right. Imagine this is the period before my birth. Just like there'll be an infinite period after my death in which I won't exist, and realizing that fills us with dismay, there was, of course, an infinite period before I came into existence. Well, if non-existence is so bad, and by the deprivation account it seems that we want to say that it is, shouldn't I be upset at the fact that there was this eternity before I was born? But, says Lucretius, that's silly, right? Nobody's upset about the fact that there was an eternity before they were born. In which case, it doesn't make any sense to be upset about the eternity after you die of non-existence. Well, Lucretius doesn't offer this as a puzzle. Lucretius offers this as an argument that we should not be concerned about the fact that we're going to die. Most philosophers aren't willing to go with Lucretius all the way to the end of the bus route. Most philosophers want to say there's got to be something wrong with that argument someplace. There's got to be well, what are the possibilities here? One possibility is indeed to just agree with him, right? Nothing bad about the eternity before I was born. So nothing bad, the eternity of non-existence. So nothing bad about the eternity of non-existence after I die. Well, that's one possibility, to agree with Lucretius. Second possibility is to say, look, Lucretius, you're right. We really do need to treat these two eternities of non-existence on a par. But we could turn it around. Instead of saying with Lucretius, nothing bad about this one, so nothing bad about this one, maybe we should say instead, something bad about the one after we die, and so something bad about the one before we were born. Maybe we should just stick to the deprivation account and not lose faith in it. The deprivation account says it's bad that there's this period after we die, because if we weren't dead then, we would still be able to enjoy the good things in life. Maybe we should say, look, similarly then, when the deprivation account tells us it's bad that there's this period before we come into existence when we don't exist, because if only we had existed then, we'd be able to enjoy the good things in life. Maybe Lucretius was right, we have to treat both periods the same, but he's wrong in thinking we shouldn't think either period is bad. Maybe we should think both periods are bad. Well, that's a possibility. What other possibilities are there? Another possibility is to say, Lucretius, you're right, there are two periods of non-existence, but there's a justification for treating them differently. They're asymmetrical in a way that makes sense from the point of view of what we should care about. Well, it's easy to say that. The puzzle, most philosophers want to take that last way out. They want to say there's something that explains why it makes sense, why it's reasonable to care about the eternity of non-existence after my death, but where that doesn't apply to the eternity of non-existence before my birth. And then the puzzle is to point to a difference that would justify that kind of rationally asymmetrical treatment of the two periods. It's easy to say it's okay, it's reasonable to treat them differently. The philosophical challenge is to point to something that explains or justifies that.